Hello, how are you guys? Welcome to Analogies with Darianne. I'm just hopping on here really quick to this week, and of course I'm bombarded about flowers here, so we know that analogy is probably gonna have something to do with flowers. But this is the month of May, and so we know again that May is associated with, we have April showers bring May flowers, and so May is associated with flowers in a sense, and so which is a great thing. You know, it's about blossoming and having things come to pass in your life, and it's a great season. And I hope that will be the case for all of us. And so anyhow, I want to hop on here and just share an analogy. This is something that's been said. This is not a new analogy, but I think it's just great to reiterate, and it's something that I'm learning and I'm looking through as I'm in the season I'm in. And so this is pertaining to women's beauty. In a sense, even though everybody can relate to it, I'm just going to kind of share it along the lines of the beauty of a woman. And so as I'm scrolling through social media, I'm on there for branding and teaching and different things like that. It's so much about the beauty of a woman. I'm seeing a lot of relationship things. We had the prom with the young women. It's just a lot. It's just a lot. We have just comparisons and just things with what the universal beauty is and the standard is, and how when some women we're comparing ourselves to each other, and we looking at hairstyles and skin complexion and body shapes and height and weight and all that kind of stuff. And so it's easy to get into comparison. And I mean, it can be a natural thing to kind of, you looking through and you just kind of see, oh, okay. I mean, you notice things. But when comparison gets to the point where you're now making yourself inferior, that becomes an issue. And that's happening a lot, whether women, some women want to admit it or not. And again, we're not talking about all women, just in the sense of just some things we're seeing with younger women and, adult women. And so I just want to hop on here to encourage someone. I know this is some encouragement that I've needed. I'm not afraid to admit, throughout my life, throughout my journey of self-esteem, comparison was a huge thing for me. And it's something that you kind of still work through. You just have some insecurity sometimes. But I want to talk about the universal standard of beauty. And so I would just admit that I know that I'm not the universal standard of beauty, meaning that, this is, what I look like is not what you will see on the big screen. And I'm okay with that. And that doesn't mean that you're not beautiful. And here's what I want to say: because you're not the universal standard of anything doesn't mean that you aren't a standard. And so I want to compare this, and I want to share the comparison, the analogy here. So we have the rose, the famous rose that a lot of people like, and then we have the daisies here. And as we can see, they're both beautiful flowers. One may be more popular or whatever it may be, but they look different. They have different colors and different things, like different shapes, but they're both beautiful. And there's a quote, there's just an analogy that goes around that talks about how the flowers do not compare themselves to each other. They just become and blossom into who they are, and they stand there. And so again, roses are planted in certain places. Certain people like roses. This may be the preference of certain people. And then you have people who love daisies. This is their preference. I'm personally a tulip person. I don't have any tulips now, but I'm a tulip person. But I can guarantee if you bring all of that here, you can see all of that. All of it has its own beauty, but they're different. And so I'm saying that to say that this is something that we should think about as women, even though we may not be somebody's type or somebody's preference or even the universal standard that we see. That does not mean that you're not beautiful. And so daisies are very beautiful, even though they're not roses, and roses are very beautiful, even though they're not daisies. They're different, and they uphold to that. And so this is a lesson learned for me that, as we are scrolling, even if we're looking at relationships, people, getting houses, just celebrations, people, seeming like their careers are going better, their businesses are going better, things are just happening, and you get into comparison. It's a great thing to be healthy, to celebrate, to celebrate everybody. So they celebrate each other, the flowers. And again, they're not looking at, each other like, hey, and I know I'm talking as in personification, but I'm just trying to get the analogy here, that they're just happy who they are. They daisies are happy being daisies. Roses are happy being roses. And so no matter the comparison, just being happy with where you are and just being able to celebrate others, and understanding that in the case of beauty, that you are beautiful. And it's so true. It's such a true thing. It's not trying to, cover up anything. It's just the truth of the matter, that beauty comes in so many different shades, sizes, so many different types. And so even though you may not see a lot of people who look like you, in this world of beauty, that does not mean you're not beautiful, and you are indeed beautiful. And so I just want to encourage everybody, and men too, you can take this as well, is not, you are indeed handsome, despite despite that you may not be the depiction of handsome on the screen or whatever it may be. And so I just want to encourage you guys, this month of May, again, this is about blossoming into who you are. And so I'm grateful for being able to use this analogy in my life for many, many years. And sometimes I have to kind of get back to this, an understanding that, especially in the world we live in, that you are beautiful. And this is something important, for some women. A lot of women think about this, and of course you want to feel beautiful and you want to think so. And so I'm just reaffirming that you are, and please hold on to that. All right, take care. Bye-bye.